one?
We did 119.
You did 119?
Yeah.
Did we say
Okay,
one no to
so-
189?
Yeah, we did.
No.
No,
On 119?
no.
All right, did you all do 119? No other table stairs, just stairs?
We did 190.
You guys did what you all decided on 119?
Yes.
You said yes? Okay, do we know what the difference is here? Why did you all think yes? This is the requires a public water system to notify the Department of Natural Resources, Department of Health and Senior Services, and its customers at least 30 days prior to a vote to cease fluoridation.
You know, now that you read that,
Um,
I don't mind them informing their customers, but DNR, the others, I don't care about that. Customers might want to know.
Yeah, see, I have pros and cons on that. Is
Well,
if
we
you
didn't know
knew
what it
the
was
real
for.
impact of fluoride, you'd be
Yeah.
scared to death of fluoride. Yeah.
What's it for? Everybody
The
is
cities
healthy
all
too.
have fluoride now,
Yeah.
and so what they're saying is they would have to note that the cities would decide to stop putting
I know,
fluoride in
why
water.
is that a bill?
That's why the
I'll tell you what it
They
is.
need something to do up there.
I know, why is it a bill?
Why is
Really,
it a bill?
seriously.
Right. That is,
Okay.
but there is fluoride in our water,
I know that.
okay? And so, there's a move across the United States to get fluoride out of all water because of the dangers of fluoride that are finally becoming public. Fluoride actually, slowly deteriorates the mental capacity of kids. That's, fluoride. That's what fluoride does. It's, do what? Well, there's a lot of studies on it, but anyway, there's different pros and cons, and a voice will certainly appreciate it.
Professor in Florida has been fighting this for years, the same nonsense. It's incontrovertible that it's helped the children keep measured, and there's no kids going crazy. It's just
For a long time.
well, many places have natural fluoride.
Well, and yeah, but why, are cities dropping fluoride now? I mean, why?
Cities are dropping
Some
fluoride.
are.
Some are, yes. Tennessee has dropped, there's different counties in Tennessee that have dropped fluoride, and, I think.
As a matter of law, or as a matter of water district?
They're dropping because of
I know.
state
So
board.
it says, quote, yes for that.
So why does the Department of Senior Services have to know? We watch out for the Department of-
Well,
And
that's-
the DNR.
It also said it hurts seniors.
Well, and that's what they were saying is
Is there a
notification
law that says they have to
of
fluoride now?
the,
Well,
service provider.
notify the
But
customers.
do you need to, that's what they're arguing, do you need to let DNR know, do you need all these other things, or just the customer need to be notified 30 days?
Usually put an ad in the paper that it's
Or
gonna
in
be
your
voted
bill.
30 days, and everybody, you know,
Or in
the
your
department
bill.
can
I
read
think
the
there should be a
paper.
little time to at least talk about it, whether
So, just for the sake of time, we have a table that says no and a table that says yes, any other?
you want to change.
Well, I mean, I do agree why we can have it, but, you know, like you said, if you're taking the fluoride out, I think the customers have a right to know
Right.
one way or the other. But I would like DNR out of it.
Okay. Okay, so HB 189 establishes licensure requirements for music therapists.
No.
No. Everybody voted no on that one?
That was stupid.
That was easy. Okay, Janet says because that was stupid.
Unless, of course, there was a musical therapist that committed malpractice. Someone died because of it.
I don't know, I've heard some music that maybe I should have
Of
played.
course, it's bad music, you're right.
Or disclose client information, you know.
Therapists that get them.
What'd you say? What'd you say? She said it was probably for the musical therapist at Gitmo. Okay, let's keep going for sake of time. here, sorry.
Okay, those were all no's, by the way. HB 190 changes the laws regarding the protection of women's health care.
So,
Yes.
you went yes,
Yeah.
yes, back table over here.
We didn't do that one,
We
did
didn't
we?
do that one.
And
We
we did
kind
not.
of hit and miss.
So we had 2 yeses on
Okay.
that one.
Got it?
Any? Here she comes. Okay, HB 377, this requires school districts to develop a system for identifying students who are at risk of not being ready for college level work or entry level career positions. No.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, we voted yes,
Yes.
because it only identifies them in ninth grade that they're not, because if we don't catch them when they're in school, that they can't read and get a medial, an intermedial job when they come out, then they're gonna go right on welfare. So you might as well make sure that they can identify them in school and make
Okay,
sure that they can
and
read.
can I throw in
Yeah.
a topic there from working in at-risk and behavioral disorder classrooms, and having a program that was set up that identified students as a flag was just a means for a school district to get money, and they didn't do anything with the money. They just,
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was how they got rid of our program, to buy a coach, because we had federal money and they weren't getting state money, it had been cut. So they
So
just had to be identified.
It
And
wasn't
all that did
ideal.
was put a kid's name on a list, and they didn't do a darn thing with him. So I have a problem with the identified
Okay.
students.
Plus why in ninth grade? By the time they're in ninth grade,
Too late.
yeah, I mean,
But
Okay.
any program in a school
Okay.
district that just wants to
So-
identify a list of kids is bad.
We changed our vote, we changed our vote to no then, I wasn't.
Fifth grade reading level is considered literate.
Okay, so no on this table?
How
No?
early-
Yeah, we've agreed
Yes.
to
How
vote
early-
no.
no.
Does anybody have a yes?
We did, but
They
we
changed.
They,
Okay,
she
so
explained it.
is it 4 no's?
Yes.
It's a no.
4 no's,
Yep,
got
four
it.
no's.
Okay, HB 380 creates a career and technology education high school diploma.
There's not really, no.
That bill we're against, we weren't against the diploma itself, but that whole bill's got way too
And
much
I
in it.
guess, Gail, do you know
Yeah.
anything about that? I mean, has that changed? I mean, when I worked with AD kids, you know, you had a certificate of attendance and,
You get a certificate for that vocational course that,
yeah.
or
But it's not a high school diploma.
Yeah.
now, whatever they call it.
And they got all kinds of other things that's gonna require the
Oh,
poor
you
school
know what?
districts to set up
I'm not even
Technical
thinking of
schools,
it right.
all over the
Yeah,
place
you
and the
following my
cost.
notes?
So 380, anybody yes?
No,
What about 78, 79?
That's what I
Bill
just
380 right now, so no on this
Are you
table,
voting?
anybody else?
No.
I just had
Everybody-
something to
Almost, 4
say.
no's,
We got a comment.
and comment to type in?
This, from what I've gathered from what you said, I took the technical skills offered by our high school, and it is on my transcript that I have taken and completed the courses at a good level, a great level, that any employer can look at if they took the time to actually read my transcript.
But you also have a high
And
school.
that's
But you
fine.
have a high school diploma that meets state standards.
Yes.
This is saying that you would only have a
Only have
diploma meaning career level technical skills.
All right.
plus a lot of other things. That's
Yeah.
the core parts, the other things.
Yeah.
Glad you made the point, though, that's.
Right, and it's good to know that they are putting that on there now.
Yes.
Well, I mean, everything's on the transcript.
Yeah. By the way, I forgot to turn the page correctly, so we will go back to HB 378. Specifies that all new and existing tax credits shall be approved by the General Assembly as part of the budget process.
We voted yes.
You did? Any other changes?
What it does, it reviews existing tax credits also,
Okay.
and new ones. Before,
Takes it out of the
it
bid.
just reviewed new ones, plus it has 2 layers now, the budget committees and the full house.
And the full House and Senate are both subject to a constitutional majority, whereas before it just said majority.
Or the people
Now
don't
it's
get
a
credit.
simple majority.
So yes,
Yes.
times
Yes.
4 tables? Any comments to go along?
I vote yes.
Yeah. Well, we now went from a simple majority to a constitutional majority.
Yeah.
Enos might like throw you some stuff a little later because that table really worked on that. It was very good, by the way. Okay, HB 379 requires statements of no tax due to be presented with local business license insurers or renewals and with any bid to perform work on publicly funded projects.
We voted yes.
Voted no.
We didn't get to that one, did we?
We didn't get to that one. If
Okay.
there's nothing hidden in it, that sounds pretty good, because then that way you know that they're.
That's the big question, if there's nothing hidden. in it.
Right.
If there's
What
nothing
made
hidden.
you all vote no?
There's,
Well, there's all kinds of reasons why you might have a tax lien and to keep you from working or doing your job when it could be just a technicality. I think that's going a little too far.
It doesn't say you can't do it, though. It just says it must be publicly stated. Right?
Says you have to present your taxes paid receipt before you can,
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever.
so yeah, she's right,
It does
if
say
you had,
statements of no
It
tax
could be
due.
technical and take forever to get out of that.
We were in favor of telling them you owe taxes, and then taking it out of the bid. So
Yeah.
Oh.
yeah, but that's not the bill.
Yes,
You can bid on
we
the
should
job,
write
but you owe taxes, we're gonna take
It
it.
sounded
Right.
like a debtor's prison thing.
Yeah, it
Someone goes, you
sounded
might
like,
go in prison and pay, until you pay it back.
Well,
So if you owe taxes, take it out of the bid?
Well, but that's
Well,
not the law. though.
that's a different law
Oh, that was
completely,
their
so.
suggestion.
Okay, so yes on 379, anybody?
No, that was
We had
a,
no.
We
They-
said
no.
yes.
They said yes.
So one yes and one no, with or without comments?
We'll say no too. Well, I don't know.
Well, they could put
Say no, Barb?
business,
Yeah.
made a non-reasonable requirement to, it'll shut them down if they can't come up with tax. And there's all kinds of reasons why you could be a little behind in tax.
Or even a technicality.
People are.
I mean, it could be, $25, or it could be,
Could be wrong.
5,000, but.
yeah, it could be wrong, I've had.
All right, that
they're
changes the
wrong.
no.
All right, we went with all no's.
What do you think about that? I
We
mean,
like his new bill, but that's not what
Yeah,
we're
we
actually
do.
voting on.
Unless
So
it's
your
all
whole table
shut.
changes?
Well, we voted yes because it's a simple piece of paper, it didn't cost anything. And
Close the business down.
you get an awful lot of
so it keeps
shysters
you from being, yeah.
that have tax liens that are bidding on public
I mean, I
projects.
just remember going down to the license bureau. Oh, you don't have this? No. You know,
You can go back.
we need less bureaucracy in
What
order.
I think would be better, I vote no just because it's not well written, but I don't know what these guys do. But if it said employee taxes, if you were behind on those, you can't bid the jobs.
I can see
Something
that.
like that,
Yeah.
because that's supposed to come in, that's not like you have to pay the previous job from the new job. Those are employee taxes that
Yeah,
are
you
built
take
into
it
that
out of
first
their
bid.
pay.
Right.
You're right.
So if it was
I
limited
that.
to something like that, but these other tax liens,
But they've made it too broad,
Yeah.
that would cover too many discrepancies and penalties that,
way too many
Yeah.
things.
So this bill is too broad?
well,
Yeah.
Well,
like you said, there could be a discrepancy that you're not even aware of until you actually go, and you're like, what do you mean I owe $6?
Yeah.
You know, but we disqualify. because
Well, if you
you're-
got a divorce and your ex-wife got the car and she didn't pay the property taxes
That's
in
right.
December, so now it's January, you're bidding, it still shows up as your
I'm
own.
laughing, been there, know that.
So, I mean, that's, so yeah, we're no.
We're trying to use this bidding
Okay.
thing to.
Next one.
Oh, so I got along great.
Okay.
She traded in her car. killed that, I was supposed to
HB
pay her, so I went back
381
again.
modifies provisions relating to high school equivalency testing.
This table, what kind of modifications did?
Too close to Common Core.
Which one, anything.
Which one are you on?
Modifies provisions relating to high school equivalent, forget.
That E, the G,
That
D.
might actually, we didn't look at it, but that might actually, come against the homeschoolers. Right now, as a homeschooler, you don't actually have to take any kind of a test, you just have to take, if you wanna go to college, you take an entrance exam and they score real high.
Yeah.
But this one right here might actually interfere with some of the homeschooling laws. I didn't look
Yeah.
at it.
Well, that's-
So that we vote no.
Good point.
Yeah.
I started to say, that's what I assumed it was
No
looking at.
times 4
is-
tables?
Right.
Yep,
Is making it where homeschooling, where they're wanting to do the new testing.
Yeah, they don't think of homeschooling when they do these things.
HB 382 requires school districts to establish comprehensive guidance and counseling programs for students attending school in the district. No.
no,
I know, I thought we already had those.
No, it's not very much more.
Now, anytime it says comprehensive, look out.
That's what I figured. Do
State
your
board.
parents own a gun?
We
Yeah.
really-
So
I just
no,
talked about
this
no.
already exists, this is more
No.
invasive?
Right.
Well, and it's gonna cost schools more money that they don't already have.
Well, for one thing, you'll have to have more counselors in place, which is at a higher salary. A lot of other things will have to go into that.
All right, next.
HB 426 modifies provisions relating to lobbying.
This table votes amen. I mean, yes.
We wanted to extend it to 10.
Yeah, we were the same way, we wanted a lifetime extension, yeah.
That's a
You can't be a
21
lobbyist.
Go
year.
back to the farm and
A
make your own
21-year
money.
tax, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a 21 year one.
Yeah, let's do this.
Okay, I'm assuming that was unanimous in the room. HB 427 designates the priority for the state with respect to any funding for family planning services.
We go
We didn't
down.
deal with
Yeah.
that. Did we?
Was that more of the inspection of the?
No, this
Which
was
number?
Kathy Swan's, this was HB 427. The inspection was Wayne's.
What was this one?
This bill changes the laws regarding reproductive health care. The Department of Health and Senior Services must inspect and investigate at least annually any ambulatory, oh, maybe it is.
It
but-
says something about inspection, so I
Yes.
kind of thought it was the same. as
Yeah,
the
but
other
Wayne
one, but I
had
don't
that.
know.
Well,
Ambulatory
but
surgical
Wayne's is
center
real short, and it
operated
just says,
for the purpose of
just
performing or
inspect it.
inducing
This has
any
got all
second
kinds
or
of
third
stuff.
trimester abortions.
But wait a minute, second and third trimester abortions are illegal in Missouri.
Right.
yeah. And it provides for lawsuits, and it provides for other entities who claim to have money taken from them and given to other people. And then the plaintiffs get their attorney's fees automatically if they win, the defendants don't if they win. It's just horrible.
Inspection investigative reports were made available as public record. Although it does say that disclosure information that is not subject to disclosure, so it tries to put some limitation. Turns out it says you can use the inspection date, inspection and investigation reports, and then it turns out that you got,
They're just-
So really bad.
Yeah, we went no on that one, but we went, I think, yes on Wayne's, it just says expect it once
So
a year.
no times how many tables? On 427, no,
Dealt with it.
No, I think we dealt with the other side of that one, and we came up with no, because we didn't want them involved in, what did you guys come up with?
They came up with no, because but they came up with bad language.
So this is accurate, 427, no times 4.
Yep,
Yes.
Next.
428 authorizes a tax credit for contributions to school foundations.
nope,
No. Voted no.
I think that's unanimous.
Pretty much.
Okay,
I can go here today all
next one?
Okay, are we on the Senate bills?
Yep.
All right. Senate Bill 33 modifies provisions relating to inspection of abortion facilities.
That one
This
we
is
said.
Wayne's.
we said that abortion clinics should be treated like any other medical provider. If they're inspected once a year, abortion clinics should be. If they're inspected once a month, abortion clinics should be inspected once a month. And I don't know what the statute is on the other one. And quite frankly, it shouldn't be singled out for its own law. It's already a medical services provider under the definition. So it should be under the definition already. I think it's legislature trying to get abortion next to their name. But, I mean, well, it is, but I don't know what the law is on what everybody else. What if hospitals have to be inspected once a month? Why would abortion clinics only be once a year? I mean, we can't treat them differently just because it's abortion. It's a medical service provider. It's legal.
So basically, they should be reclassified as what they are, not a separate identity.
I
It
think
should
they
be
are
treated the same
classified
as
as
any other
that.
medical.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm in favor of inspections once a year. I just think it's a fluff pill that it's already provided for, but I don't know. I don't know what the statute calls a abortion clinic. Pretty sure it's medical
So,
service provider.
Did you just put the note that it should be treated as any other medical facility?
Yeah,
They should
Have
be
any other,
reclassified.
then
Yeah.
you use surgical.
Yeah,
Yeah, they should be reclassified.
yeah. So,
whatever that is, yearly, monthly.
So yes times 4?
yep,
Okay,
Okay, Bill 34 extends voter registration deadline for certain military and overseas voters.
Yes. Yes.
Voted yay.
Which one was that one?
One chaos.
34.
SB 34, if you actually read it, it's kind of like a drive-by voting. They can walk up and show, right, like 3 days before voting, show their ID to go vote or whatever.
Military?
It's how it's worded. When you bring it up, it shows that they can basically 3 days, what was it, 3 days? They were
3 days prior.
like 3
Yeah,
days
5
prior
p.m.
to the election.
We liked the
They're-
concept, but was thought it was too much,
Yeah.
too quick.
What's the difference?
Well, that's the whole thing is, why wouldn't they already have a register to vote?
exactly.
They know.
Well, that's what Mom said.
Gotta
She said when
link
they
it.
sign up to enlist, they should automatically be registered to vote.
Yeah, but that's not what this law is. This
I
law
know.
says that when they're back on the states, for whatever reason, they're on
You-
soil, that they can walk in 3 days prior to an election and go sign up to vote.
When you join the military, It happened to me. I got a letter when I was, a threatening letter when I was in boot camp about the fact that I hadn't registered to vote. Before, I did not go in and register to vote. Back in the 80s, you were required to do so, or, there was penalties. I thought I was covered just by going in the military. What are they going to do to me? So off I went. I got a threatening letter in boot camp about the fact that I didn't register to vote.
This isn't saying that that we're giving military people overseas more time to get their ballots in. That's
Yeah.
not what this is saying.
Yeah, I know.
It's all
I'm just
time
saying.
registering.
Yeah,
I was
This
against
one
it.
says that when they're here, 3 days prior to,
table was
it's
for it.
like, oh, by the way, I need to go register to vote 3 days before. It's like, well, if you've been back on soil, you should have, that,
Well, no, they can't go vote, they have to register. It gives them
Right.
up to 3
Yeah.
days prior to 5 PM to go register
But
to
how-
be able to vote in the next election.
No, 3 days later, is the next election though.
Around,
Right.
yeah.
the way they move the military personnel around, it should just be linked to them being in the service.
Right, and I kind of agree with that. It should be linked to them. If you're in the service, by God, you should have a right to vote. I'm
Yes.
sorry. I mean, that should be
Because
part of your military ID.
The other thing is going to be the problem of trying to verify that these are valid voters in that state 3 days prior to that election. How do you know that a whole bunch of people just aren't walking over from the next state over, jumping into your state to affect your elections?
Well,
And
You still have to be
one
able
thing
to
is the
identify
military, I
yourself.
mean, whatever state you register in, I mean, like my cousin, when he went in the military, he moved to Alaska for 20 years so he could get his tax refund.
It says that each person shall produce sufficient documentation showing evidence of qualifying for late registration pursuant to this section. So,
They gotta bring the discharge papers.
Right.
bring discharge papers,
I mean, they should have appropriate paper. They're military. I mean, all military people know what
He's got a
appropriate
DD
paper.
14, so.
well, after reading that, now that you've researched it, do you agree with
They
that?
serve this country.
Yeah.
they're talking to a military guy, so I agree with it because I was stupid at
Okay.
18. I didn't register.
That's
Doesn't
not-
say overseas
that's-
military.
If I had served overseas in Iraq, and now I'm drawn back in, and I just got discharged, and I
I'm
was
fine
told
with
I
that.
couldn't
Since
vote.
we all wanted to vote for it until
Yeah.
maybe I brought
Well,
up.
but you were told you
Well, but
can't
it
vote
does,
because
I
you
think,
didn't follow the
I think
rules.
when Enos, did you look this up and it also
It's that
applied
simple.
to some overseas government
Everyone else doesn't follow the
employees?
But
rules.
it does say,
Oh,
oh,
crap.
you're right, sir.
I
Yeah.
just got, oh no.
But this
Yeah,
is
it's
the
federal
summary when we
service, a
looked it up
person
on
in,
PDF.
a person in federal service, so it is strictly not military, it could potentially be other federal employees. I guess that could be there in support of the military or whatever overseas, so.
This is.
Because federal employees are.
Okay, I need the
Well,
votes.
I mean, they're
running out of
voting their
time.
pocketbook.
I didn't think
What can I
this one
say?
would be the big.
Okay, let's do a count.
Yeah.
Back here,
I'm changing my vote to no.
we need yes or no's.
No.
No,
If you guys are still good with it, I'm in the minority, so I can accept
Nope.
that. Also,
No.
responsibility
I don't
too,
know.
so.
All right, well, you get your group together.
I think yes, because how could you even be a federal employee or in the military with not documentation of the wazoo as to who you are? We're letting Mexicans walk over with a utility bill and vote.
Yeah.
But yet the people that's keeping us safe, you're not gonna let them vote.
Back table?
Well, they had us, we were
They had to
gonna
change.
jump on their yes.
no, we're
too,
no.
and now.
They're
Yeah,
no.
I'm the yes over here, they're the yes.
I'm talking on their no.
I know, but they're.
Linda, what about your table?
They don't know the
I'd say it's a split.
military
I don't know, they're-
voting.
Say 3 no's and 1 yes.
Mark there.
Average out.
It's the
Yeah,
wording
that's
for me.
fine.
It's the wording for
When we-
me.
when we
Just
decide.
read it yourself.
Yeah, right.
But
And it's been very confusing wording.
my experience in the military hasn't had
I'm too,
no.
yeah.
No.
With the guys that were deployed.
We'll move on, and if we need to come back to that one, we can.
Just put 3 yes, 3 no's and a yes. That's about what it was.
Yeah.
I thought it was a 1 no, 2 yes, and 1 undecided.
I think we
Alright.
swayed them.
All right.
They swayed us.
Bill 35.
Conscientious objector.
What?
He said, "Mine's not changing."
This one turned out to be the best.
We're about to run out of time, guys.
35.
Let's get on through these.
Requires
Let's
the
go yes
Department
no's.
of Social Services to terminate Missouri Health Net services when it receives information that a Missouri Health Net recipient resides out of the state.
We said that was a duh.
Except that's already the law, number 1, but number 2, why does it why do they get coverage till the end of the calendar month? They find out on February 1st that they live out of state, but they get coverage till February
Yeah,
28th.
that's true, yeah.
Cut them right off of February 1st.
It should be retroactive to the day they moved, and, because that's fraud,
So
and they
no,
should sue them for any bills they
No.
paid.
Oh, you're right.
So, yeah,
So
it's,
this is
it's
the
a
hard-
fluff bill that means nothing,
Yeah, this is-
because they're already cut off. You have to live in Missouri to get the benefits.
And you're immediately covered when you go to another state anyway. It's not like you have a 30-day grace period to get on the benefits. I mean, when you're enrolled in your new state or you move, you're immediately covered.
So we
it's
need
not
a
30-day
new law
grace.
for retro,
Well,
with a
a
find out
better
that.
law.
Yeah.
Okay.
We need them to adhere to what we have. Okay, Bill,
152?
yeah, 152 modifies provisions relating to solid waste.
We voted no.
It's allowing family.
We just don't like to even think about solid.
Put more notes. That's more government regulation. That's power in the
They
hands
have to go regulate your BS.
Give me yours, I'm not gonna say that.
Okay, next.
of state auditor.
153 provides that a managed care plans network is adequate if the health carrier is accredited by the Accreditation Association for Ambulatory Health Care. Oh my God, I never thought I'd see that many times repeated in one sentence.
We didn't even direct, we
We
didn't work on that
voted
one.
no.
No?
We voted no because we don't know why the board that's doing it now is insufficient. Apparently some provider got denied, so they went to the legislator who said, oh, well, we'll just have this other group.
Okay.
Because the utilization board does it now.
The way I understand it, if the accreditation association accredits it, they're just saying that we don't have to do it, we accept theirs.
They're saying they don't have to go to the utilization board to get approval.
There's a board that already exists
Yeah.
for the accreditation. They're
They're
adding,
saying
they
if
want to
they
add this as
approve it,
another
why should
one.
we go through the process?
Yeah, they're saying provided that a managed care plans network is adequate.
Right.
Okay, I need some yeses and
We already
nos,
have
guys.
review, we already have a board that does it, so I don't see why we need to add a second.
We're gonna do this out. No? Linda, your table?
Well, it allows for an alternate.
We said yes.
Yeah,
We don't
it
have-
can be turned down by the utilization board and then go to
Janet,
someone else.
no?
What do you think, John?
So you got different standards between the two boards.
Somebody, so 3 no's and 1 yes?
For what?
That really waste, the.
No, that should all be no's.
Not sure.
You guys said yes, we're gonna
This table voted
You
yes.
said
Okay.
we should have said no.
You should say no because you have different standards with the two groups.
Yeah.
So if you don't like this group, you go to the other group. This group said, no, you're insufficient, well, this group says you're sufficient. So that it's a lesser standard.
Okay.
And so everyone should be treated the same. That's why, I mean, that's why we said no.
All right, 154, let's just go through with yeses and
We
nos.
said
guys.
no. No.
Okay, next.
157,
Animal therapists, we should license.
We went yes.
157?
yes.
We went
Yes.
yes.
And a yes?
You two, did you all?
We didn't get to that.
We didn't go
Okay,
there.
Okay,
2 yeses.
157, okay.
Lowers license
Oh,
fees.
so
Two.
modify the fees.
213,
Yeah.
yes,
We said no.
We went no.
Ask you.
Well,
yes, Deborah.
we just said 17-year-olds are
We
mature
didn't
enough
do
to be treated as adults.
And so this is just increasing the,
Age to 18, which puts more burden on juvenile court and the county authorities than the state court. Of course, juvenile court doesn't get to recoup any of its funds because no one pays court costs in juvenile court. Everyone pays court costs in state court, number one, but 17-year-olds are plenty,
and really, there's not that much difference between 17.
17-year-olds are very.
Well, except the parent might be responsible for a 17-year-old versus.
So you guys are yes or no?
I'll check.
We're no, 17 should be treated as an adult.
Well, I didn't say I wanted 14-year-olds.
So, Linda, your table?
We didn't do it.
Y'all
You
want
did.
to or not?
Requires
I would say
children
no.
under the age of 18 to be prosecuted
I
remotely.
think the rest of you said yes.
Yeah.
Criminal offense.
They're all going, all right, so we're.
Okay.
What'd you guys say?
Easily.
And Janet, what was your table on?
We
I would
said
think yes.
yes because we figured 17-year-olds were smart enough to know right and wrong.
Yeah, I would kind of.
Well, that means you're no then,
Well,
because they're
Requires
changing it.
children under the age of 18.
Right now, it's under 17 are treated as juveniles. They're increasing it by
So
one
17
age.
would have to go to.
Yeah, they're bringing
Or
it
up.
They wouldn't go to
Yes.
felony. They would
So
be-
you're a no.
So we're enough.
We're not.
Okay, next.
We though, it's,
You guys, we can discuss afterward, but let's
Yeah,
get
we're
yes or
gonna-
no's in. 219,
We've only got a few
219,
minutes.
Need more information.
You would-
We didn't know.
219,
we
Jim?
wouldn't know on
No
that.
on
We
219,
didn't know
Linda?
about, we didn't know about that one.
Okay,
we-
Deborah?
Yeah, we simply said no
You didn't do
because
that one.
they're
Okay.
changing, it's an ex post facto law. They expired July 1st of 2014, and now they want to
We did a whole
repeal,
bunch on this other page
they
though,
want to repeal the expiration.
towards the bottom.
That means you can do that in any law that ever got passed, or just repeal the
That's true,
expiration. You can
Right,
do
that's
anything.
what he said a while ago, it sets a
Yeah.
precedent.
It's just a horrible precedent to send that they can repeal
So we
something. They
wondered
just
if the date was a
institute
typo.
another statute, that's all they gotta
Yeah,
do.
rewrite the law.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's accepted.
SCR3? No. No for Jim's table. Anybody else's? Y'all?
So 3 is a no.
Well, we have one no for SCR3. Any at the table, you didn't, we all do it?
We didn't understand it.
No, that's solid waste.
Legislators being on the committee, they don't get any extra pay, they don't care what they do with their time.
So no?
It's just, again,
Makes no difference.
people that has no meaning,
It
because
gives somebody a title.
committees already look at that stuff.
I want to,
So-
no, I think Brian was
I
here.
just don't think, I think
So no, it makes no difference.
it really does.
Okay.
HB 130?
They're not paid.
130?
No. No.
No, no.
Okay, that's,
No.
that was the
That
percent.
was, yeah.
And
Okay, HB 158?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
There you go.
Okay, HB 159?
Yes.
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 2 yeses. Okay. HB 26?
Yep.
Anybody do that?
Nope.
What is it?
That establishes the Civil Justice Funding Model Act.
I don't have anything to do with it. No, that has to do with, state garbage and Ferguson,
Says
no.
nothing about it.
Yes, that's what it is.
It's
It's
just-
funding,
It's what?
funding when riots occur and things like that, because civil justice demands that we pour all kinds of money in there.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
So is this a yes or no?
No, no, no.
Okay.
HB 30 requires a person to submit a specified form of photo identification in order to vote in a public election with specified exemptions.
30, voting, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
402. HB 402.
That's
Nope.
stupid. That's stupid.
I agree.
The drunks will listen to it anyway.
Okay, HB 403.
Nope.
No.
No, again, just fluff. We follow other rules.
HB 404.
Yes.
No.
No,
Again, it's still fluff.
it's all fluff.
It's still
We'll
fluff.
talk about it later. What do we have on 404?
You said
We
no.
had 3 no's and 1 yes.
Okay.
HB 49.
We voted yes.
Yes,
Any others?
it just adds those two people to a list of 4 other people that can see victims of crimes and get compensated.
Oh, okay.
Because a lot of the rural counties don't have 4 that are.
And they can afford, yeah.
Yes.